guys, it's Emma, Kettle Mag's books editor, and because it seems like you weren't all completely put off by my first solo book review, which is great, thanks, I decided to go ahead and do another one. And this one's quite an important one because I was sent My Stratford Friend Dominick Reyntiens, I think, by Valley Press, the publishers. That's definitely one of the best perks about being Kettle Mag's books editor, getting sent press copies of books to review for you guys. So this is quite exciting. So I'm partway through reading My Stratford Friend at the moment, and I think the premise and ideas behind it are really interesting. So for any kind of book boffins out there, the title may have rung a few bells. Stratford is where Shakespeare was born and brought up, and the idea behind this book is that it's Shakespeare's childhood, but specifically given with the perspective of Tom Wickham, who is created by the author as Shakespeare's the stable boy in Shakespeare's house, but also kind of becomes really good friends with William Shakespeare as a child. So already I can see that kind of with the friendship between Tom and William, you've got a bit of kind of class politics from Elizabethan England, obviously Tom being of a kind of slightly lower class because he's the stable boy in the house, which is really interesting. So I guess I was kind of half cautious and half completely drawn to My Stratford Friend. It's definitely not the usual thing I'd kind of choose from the shelf. I don't really tend to go for historical. I definitely say like contemporary is more what I would pick. But on the other hand, I'm an English student and I study at Warwick, and Stratford's really close to Warwick. And since I've been studying at uni, I've visited Stratford twice. And being an English student and being able to go to Stratford and see the whole kind of literary culture and heritage that's there with regard to Shakespeare, I think is so amazing. And it's so interesting, even though I'm not like a Shakespeare fanatic. I really like Shakespeare, but I wouldn't say I'm like obsessed. But I just love going. It's just such a literary vibe, and it's so interesting to learn about Shakespeare. Like I went just recently and kind of looked around the house where he was born and grew up in, and so that kind of was the thing that made me really want to read My Stratford Friend. So I guess one thing I would say is, admittedly, if you're not really interested in either Shakespeare or kind of Elizabethan England, then this book might not be for you, because that's obviously what the book is completely rooted in and what the author's really interested in. I think it's really cool that the author is so interested in William Shakespeare's life and times as to kind of write this whole novel about it. I think that's really cool. Even if you're not like such a huge fan of Shakespeare's plays, or maybe like haven't read any, there's still, from what I can tell, there's a lot about kind of class and religion in Elizabethan England, which maybe makes it appeal to a bit more of a wider audience, because most people like to learn a bit about history, which is a part of the book that I'm enjoying. Having said that, you by no means need to be a kind of literary or history buff to appreciate the book. I think reading it, I found that it's kind of pleasantly and maybe even a bit surprisingly really easy to get into, and a lot of the kind of themes that have come up so far for me are kind of just really like heartwarming ideas that kind of, if you take them out of the context of Shakespeare, actually can just be appreciated by everybody. So obviously there's the whole kind of childhood friendship between Will and Tom, which is really nice. And one of my favourite parts so far is the character Bod, who's put forward as kind of Will and Tom's nanny when they're children. And what I really like is the fact that the stories that Bod tells to them are kind of resonant with Shakespeare's actual plays, so it's a little quirk that, you know, the idea that Shakespeare's plays might have been inspired by stories that he was told when he was a little boy. I think that's quite nice. So yeah, as I said, not something that I would necessarily pick up, but it's definitely different and I am enjoying it. And so if you're looking for something a bit different, you might want to look out for My Stratford Friend. It is going to be out in August this year, and the author is giving a performance of the book at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So if you're going there, you might want to catch that. I'm sure it'll be really interesting. So yeah, August 2015. Keep your eyes peeled for it, and hopefully I'll be back soon because I just got back off holiday and have been doing lots of reading, so I have a lot to review. So hopefully see you soon.